you see me? Hi. What?
तू बता कैसी है?
कुछ नहीं यार, मेरी पढ़ाई शुरू हो गई है अब, और ऑफिस भी है और पढ़ाई भी शुरू हो गई है साथ में। दोनों।
Super hectic.
Dude, it's like I'm sleeping like today I slept for the first time in a whole week. Otherwise, I'm sleeping for like 2 hours or 3 hours maximum every
Are you
day.
serious? When is the class for the college and then when is your office timing?
Office is at 8:30 in the morning, and then class starts around 8:30 to 6 o'clock is office. Class starts at 7, ends around like 3:34. Sometimes it ends at like 5 in the morning. So it's pretty hectic. To start the classes from January in person. So I think hopefully by December I'll be there.
But जल्दी नहीं हो गया?
यार शुरू कर
Looking at
रहे हैं
the
ना, they have
situation, looking at COVID situation, that's all. Nothing else.
COVID situation is bad in India, but
Seriously.
abroad
Why is
I'm not even.
everyone saying that?
That's a fact, yeah. Like, okay, I'll tell you about Canada. They're like, see, it's there, but the number of everyday cases are like 200, 300, 150, and here the cases are around 80,000, 85,000,
यहाँ पे 300
probably not.
हर दिन होते हैं, by the way, just saying. 300 हर दिन होते हैं.
बस यहाँ पे 30,000 हर दिन होते हैं, ठीक है. Dude, really. So that's what the thing is, that COVID situation is improving abroad, but they're taking extra precautions. Like all the governments are not like US that it's okay, like call people, it's still fine. But like with Canada, the number of cases are really less, but they're taking extra precautions. They don't want to call people right now. So depending on these situations, that's what I'm saying. I may go in December, hopefully, may not, I don't know. But eventually the question is going to be like that, uh, whether they'll be comfortable calling people from India or not. Because if you know what's happening in Europe nowadays is that the quarantine rule is according to countries. For example, if people who are coming from New Zealand, they don't have to quarantine at all in other countries. But if there's people, say, coming from, I don't know, Italy or France, they have to quarantine only for 7 days. But people from US or India need to quarantine compulsory for 14 days. So that is how it's going to evolve now. But I think the economy needs to open, as students are the main source of income for all the countries abroad.
Yeah, for sure. For
So
sure.
I'm hoping. Saying the kind of exposure I got in Havells is like a complete, like a complete industrial designer exposure that you should get in a corporate. Because I feel that as an industrial designer, it's very important to know what a product cycle is. And it is very important to understand how a product starts in a design studio, and then it goes to the engineering team, and then it goes for manufacturing, and then it reaches a mass market. So all these things are very important, and Havells having their own production and manufacturing, it was much easier for me to understand that process. So as of now, in 2 years, I've got like at least 2-3 products in the market, and some of them are lined up to come in the market. So I was able to understand a product evolution and a product cycle. And when your products actually reach to the consumers, and you see people using them or people knowing them, or it's reaching a mass market, it's a different experience. And that is what all the designers want, because that's what design is, right? It's a problem solving solution. So Havells has been like a really, really good decision.
So where were you in the team when you say from the start to the end? I think you start with the idea of creating this product, but could you explain a little bit on that?
So basically, in companies like Havells, like big corporates, there are two types of design iterations that we have. One is like business products. The other one is innovation products. They're like the self-initiated projects kind of a thing. So business products would be something, say for example, if it's Havells or if it's any other company, they have certain products that give them the business. the marketing team would usually give us an input that this, like, we required this particular design with these requirements and this is the brief about it. But then there will be some of the projects where we would think of an innovation and we would want that, this is like completely sold my idea and I want to work on this and I'll be designing on this particular thing. If it would add a benefit to the company's portfolio, they would go ahead with it. So where a designer comes in, I was working in the design team. So I initiate the idea or I start designing the product. It initially comes with aesthetics, feasibility of the product, designing of the product. Even there are like certain manufacturing innovations that we do. For example, like fitments or particular styling in this way, or the manufacturing process. So all those things are a work of a industrial designer. But once you start designing a product, you realize that you're there involved in this product from the start till the end. I mean, you can't leave this product at any stage. So usually how it happens is, once we design a product, we research. There's a first-hand research that happens on our own end. We go out in the market, we study competitor products, and then we would start ideating, conceptualizing, sketching. Then there will be a stage where we'll make a number of iterations, we'll cut down to a few, and then we would design, we would make CAD models, we would render these products to the most realistic environment. And then that's how, once we show a couple of options, they cut it down to choosing one particular design or two designs. And then I have to get a prototype of it. Either I make it or I get it made. It depends from companies to companies. And once a prototype is made, whether it's a functional prototype or a model, whether it's an aesthetic prototype, then after all these approvals and after finalizing this thing, we take the product further to a manufacturing stage. And that is when comes the engineering team, which helps us with like technical fitments and feasibilities and technology insider and how to develop it. Once everything is done, we come back to the design team, where we think of like colors and color, material, finish, aesthetics and stuff like that. And then a product further goes for manufacturing. Then we make like N10 samples, P0 samples, N100. Then it comes the marketing team, which makes the packaging. And after spending almost 1.5 years in the cycle, the product is in the market. And this is exactly, it's not just about Havells, this is a general product cycle in any company. And that's how it works. So even if I'm doing any of my personal projects, I will have to go through the first few steps to get a product in the market.
It takes a year usually. Minimum
8 Probably more. Some of the products are lined up for 2 years due to technical difficulties. Every stage. So we need to understand that when a product is manufactured, I mean, you must be knowing, you're from a similar field, that when you manufacture a product, a tool is made. So even making a tool takes at least 1.5 months. So when you're doing a mass production, getting these products in the market takes a lot of time.
And what are these? So when you talk about these products, is it like a wide range of what kind of products? If you could just give me an idea.
So the products that I'm talking about are, say, I was working in a company which was electrical and like home appliances.
Okay.
So I was doing a vast, the range varied from water purifiers, ceiling fans, table fans, like all kinds of fans, lighting, mixer, grinder. So this is basically the product range where our whole team works around with. They're like air purifiers, irons, personal grooming products. So these are the kind of products I'm talking about, which are like, they're tangible products, which is there for the mass Indian market specifically.
Oh, so it's mass produced.
It's mass produced.
All of the products are mass produced.
All of the products are mass produced. So that's why I was saying that my experience in Havells was like really beneficial, because it gave me an idea of a mass production market and an overview of it. So now in future, I'll know how I need to funnel down my product range, or how I need to funnel down in which particular technology do I want to get in.
When you say technology, what kind of technology are you talking about?
So I think I'll relate this particular question to what I am going to pursue. I have joined this course in OCAD University called Digital Futures. It's Master of Design and Digital Futures. So it's going to be all about technologies like augmented reality, virtual reality, touch sensing, motion sensing, uh, tech wearables, user experience, user interface, and things like that. So, right now in Havels, I spend a lot of time designing tangible products, but my level of technical knowledge in terms of adding these futuristic technologies was not that much. So for example, if I'm say designing, I'll talk about my AirPod. If I'm designing this AirPod, as of now I'm able to design the aesthetics of these AirPods, or probably the technicality of it to some extent. But if I want that, if I want a touch sensing thing that you tap on your AirPod and the music changes, so this is an upgrade technology and a sensor that I'm talking about. So I would want to, like, I am planning to learn this sort of knowledge to add in my products. How to add interfaces in it, how to add an upscale technology to these tangible products itself.
So you need to have a lot of knowledge about the ongoing technology, right? कि अभी क्या चल रहा है मार्केट में, कौन सी प्रोडक्ट्स आ रहे हैं. So I think your product would be on the very start of this thing, right? Of this thing, because when, for example, if I have to elaborate this, अभी जैसे iPhone आता है, iPhone में ऐसा नहीं है कि यूजर्स वेट करेंगे, उसके बाद देखेंगे प्रोडक्ट कैसा है, एंड देन दे लाइक iPhone already has a standard के भाई it's going to be better than before, and it's
right.
It comes under that curve of just the starting and that start of the market, and only the curious explorers or the of wanting to have new technology, wanting to have new products at their table immediately after it's released in the market.
Right,
so
right.
That's where you are also trying to experiment with your products.
Exactly. So my whole experimentation with my products is going to be how I add a beneficial and a new upcoming trending technology to it. Like, I'll again give an example how we go with watches usually. Earlier we would have a normal dial watch, then it was a digital watch. Now it has come to an Apple Watch, or a Fitbit, which is actually giving you a whole sense of your activity and your heartbeats and all the technology. So we need to realize that with time, technology is upgrading, and we need to involve these technologies in our product range for it to sustain in the market. Now if we go to buy a phone, if we go and buy a phone, we would go for an iPhone or a smartphone instead of buying a $1,100 Samsung phone. Is because we want to be upgraded to that particular technology. And that is where my product knowledge comes, that even if I want to design a technologically upgraded product, as a designer I need some knowledge to do that. I can't expect that I think of something and I go further to a technical engineering part of the department and I tell them that do something. When you innovate, you need to learn and understand the basics of technology to reach that level and to imply it in your designs. And usually when you're designing products, you would want that when you prototype your product, you prototype it to the most functional way possible, so that when you're getting your products approved, or when you're getting your products tested, you have a knowledge of how it would actually work in future. So that particular futuristic technologies nowadays is something really, really important. I mean, I'm sure all of us must have noticed in this time of this pandemic, things are really changing. We've gone to cashless payments, we've gone to the sensor cards now, we've gone to virtual shopping experiences. So all these things are technological development which is gaining now all over the world. It's not just the western part of the world, it's everywhere now. So even an interface, to understand that interface or designing that interface of a particular application is equally important. and how you connect your basic product to applications is also part of a digital technology.
Very true. Very true. So, since you talk about designing and all of that, I had a question. What do you think of 3D printing?
I think it's a really cool way of prototyping.
Just prototyping or making products also?
See, I think it's a really cool way of making products as well. But of my experience, I have more dealt with 3D printing and prototyping right now. Because prototyping is 3D printing is a very expensive form of manufacturing and development. It's not that cheap right now. Probably once it's more in the market and the technology is evolved, then it could be considered as a main source of production in a mass production way. But right now, when it comes to prototyping stage, I think it's the best way possible, because as a product designer, if you know how to make a detailed CAD model with all the good fitments, it's the easiest way and the most accurate way of getting your stuff ready. But I personally feel that there's still a little bit of gap, and it's going to take time for 3D printing to become a mass production. It's a very expensive setup. So it's going to take a little while to do that. I know a lot of design studios around the world. They were trying to produce these PP kits, or certain masks for hospitals using 3D printing.
Yeah.
So in the time of this need, it turned out to be a very supportive way of it. But as a customer, if I would go and buy a 3D printing product, everyone or a mass market won't have a niche for it. So as and when the technology will evolve, it will become cheaper. Again, it's like an iPhone, right? Earlier iPhone was so expensive, no one would spend so much money. But with time, as the product adjusted itself in the market, now everyone is ready to spend $80,000. So people need to have knowledge of these technologies as well. They need to understand why 3D printing is better, or why would I want something which is 3D printed.
That's true. So, but I still think 3D printing is really catching up, I mean, the pace that पहले से ठीक है, बहुत पहले से 3D printing रहा है. I've read a little bit about 3D printing. It has been in the history. It has improved every year by 2%. But right now, recently, I have seen 3D printing products also. But of course, it's going to be a niche. It's not going to be mass produced, as you said, because it's going to be expensive, and especially it's time consuming also.
I agree.
बनाने के लिए बहुत टाइम लगता है उसको. ऐसा नहीं कि तुम 10 मिनट में बन गया.
नहीं होता है.
It depends ना कि तुम 3D printing का function क्या है और किस type के product को you're going to use it for.
Exactly. Like products, product is also, there's a wide range of product in itself. There are lifestyle products. There are technological products. Then there are home appliances, which has a lot of machinery fitments in it. Then there are wearable products. So again, the manufacturing depends on the kind of product that you're making. For example, if I'm making a lamp, which would just have a single fitment of a bulb or wires inside, that is something that can be 3D printed even in terms of mass production. Or if it's a lifestyle sort of a showpiece, or if it's a certain product which is just there and it doesn't have a lot of technological fitments in it, that can be really, really well done with 3D printing. And honestly, 3D printing is again the easiest form of manufacturing. Make your CAD model and it will be ready to 3D print. That is a technology which I have also seen really, within the 2 years I've seen it evolving, because I have also been using this technology. But when it comes to the technical certain products, if I'm expecting to have a 3D printed watch, that kind of technology will take a little bit of time. Probably people are already working on this. I'm sure people are working on this, and I'm sure there must be things already coming in the market like such. But customers need to adapt to that thing, and those aesthetics is another thing. Like,
Why do you think it's hard for people to adapt? Because I think 3D printing can be used mainly if you're going to customize your products. Yeah, each product अलग है इसके, या you're catering to customers needs कि मुझे ऐसा aesthetic चाहिए, या ऐसा color चाहिए, या ऐसा ये चाहिए. So I think 3D printing can suffice that demand. Of course, I'm saying over the time, maybe
definitely over the time. Like over the, I was talking about the current time right now, but over the time I see 3D printing boosting as one of the main source of manufacturing. Like, I mean, it is going to be more like an investment instead of like, just something being there. Because see, with 3D printing, a lot of steps are getting reduced. When you're manufacturing products, there are like 20 steps and 20 machineries and 20 things involved. But with 3D printing, it's probably one or two machines that could like suffice the whole step. So like you said, like 3D printing is not that fast, but it's going to be relatively faster than the present manufacturing time. Also, it's going to like save up on the people who are working in these factories, because everything is going to be like fast and quick. And the most fun thing about 3D printing is the design iterations. Like, when you're designing something, like when you're making a CAD model and when you're rendering it, you're able to see the most realistic product. So, you will know how to make those small iterations, and that could be immediately done within the product. When it comes to manufacturing, say, if I want to change a particular angle or a particular step in a design, and the product is already there in the market, I will have to change the full tool, which is another investment of lakhs and crores. But when it comes to 3D printing, I just have to make that change in my CAD model, and I can just produce it without letting go of any machinery or any other step involved or investing more money. So in future, I think it could be one of the main sources of development in the product design field.
But that's going to end a lot of jobs also, Simran. I'm sure that's going to take away a lot of jobs.
That, I think, already the self-equipped technology, like all these machines have already hindered jobs a little bit. Like
when you say this, I have this one example where तुम airport जाते हो, right? Check-ins are done digitally now. Would you really need a person standing at the desk to really check in your luggage or this thing? So I'm saying it's that automated now. Even the systems, I think there are these machines who really don't need, apart from security, I don't think airport needs staff like that.
Apart from, I'm sure you must have seen in Decathlon, right? Decathlon has self-checkouts now.
Oh, really? I didn't know.
Yeah, like here in Delhi, the Decathlon, so what they've done is they've like divided and actually that self-checkout thing is there in a lot of supermarkets also. But now that trend is coming to India as well. So what it is that they've like divided it into like two parts. And one part would have like probably 2 to 3 counters with like people helping you out. But most of the counters are like self-checkout. All you need to do is just like punch in your thing and then you just go, take your bill and you move. That is there in that is something that's happening in malls. That's going to happen in malls now because of the virtual thing of trying out your outfit, and also you won't need someone to help. So I think as the technology is kicking in, the human labor is going to like it's going to be affected.
But I think there'll be new jobs also now created alongside. But I'm saying not in that number in particular. जितने जा रहे हैं उतने नए जॉब्स आने उस प्रपोर्शन में I don't think that's going to be a possibility.
And I highly doubt. I highly doubt. But like see, that's what technology is. That's what thing has come to. I mean, honestly, if I wouldn't have been having a video call or my phone, I would have been writing letters to you.
Yeah.
You know, I would have been sending you hand.
Like when you say this, I was very surprised. I mean, yes, it is a fact. Yes, I know that this is a possibility. But imagine I can sit here in my room and you can sit there and we can have these conversations about whatever the hell and actually put it out and for the other viewers to see. Like, imagine the reach is so easy. Is so freaking easy. I mean, अगर मुझे किसी को इंटरव्यू करना था जो इंडिया में नहीं और कहीं और है, I mean, I can do it immediately and put it up the very next moment after it's done.
And everyone around the world would see it. Like, you know, that's exactly what it is coming out to be.
And
But
crazy.
Jobs are getting affected in this thing also. Like, that is something there.
Delivery systems, drone systems, I think, autonomous vehicles acting as a drop cart to your house is also something that I've seen, where there is the concept, of course, a prototype, but where it's just like a showcase. When you go to the bakery, you know, there are breads and everything displayed, correct? Imagine an autonomous vehicle just drives down to your house, and if there's anything that you want to like take, where maybe vegetable or bread, you just have to whatever swipe or do whatever the sensor touch, it's just going to drop, like these vending machine kind of situation.
Right.
And then you can just pay and then that's it.
So there's no person involved.
No, because with the concept of autonomous vehicle, it'll be, of course, controlled by another whatever system, which is not going to be necessarily involved in the car itself. Imagine that kind of like technology or having that kind of convenience. But I've seen like these prototypes happen, and it's freaking insane, man. Like it blows my mind because we are already living in future. I don't think it's another 5 years or 10 years. Nahi, we are already living in the future. I'll say this why again. I see when you say VR and this thing, virtual reality, and then there's augmented reality, AR. So even though there are IG models that are not real.
These are the new faces of the fashion industry, except they're not real faces. They're actually digital models, and they may change the over $2 trillion global fashion industry as we know it. Meet Shudu. She's a gorgeous 20-something model from South Africa, and she's also 100% computer generated.
Shudu is based off of South African Princess Barbies.
Shudu is known as the world's first digital supermodel. She's the brainchild of London-based visual artist Cameron James Wilson. Cameron created Shudu last year using the modeling softwares DAZ 3D and Clo. Cameron says that creating Shudu's realistic pictures is a labor-intensive process that can take days to complete.
It was kind of a testament to my skill that people didn't know that she was real or not. You know, and I would kind of gauge how maybe well I had done depending on the comments on the image.
Brands have taken notice of the virtual beauty. In February, Rihanna's Fenty Beauty line reposted a photo of Shudu wearing one of its lipsticks, though the post has been removed from the company's Instagram page since. Earlier this year, Shudu was featured on the Instagram page of fashion company SoulSky wearing one of its t-shirts. Shudu is part of a growing trend of virtual brand ambassador. In a statement to CNBC, Looklet said, "With real models, you have the full range of variables with working with anyone on set, potential lateness, missed flights, wariness, then of course the need for hair and makeup, and the casting and licensing contracts. With Looklet, we take care of all those things, so that's a huge weight off of clients to have to manage." Looklet's customer roster includes names like Saks Fifth Avenue and Neiman Marcus. But digital models don't necessarily have to mean the end of living, breathing models.
Models can stand to benefit a lot from 3D models because in the future a model can actually have a 3D counterpart and then generate an income off of that counterpart without actually having to do the work necessarily.
Imagine fashion designers are using augmented reality models and using them as this thing. So there is no need of me to pay another model. I can freaking design a model like जिसकी height, width, color सब मैं decide कर सकती हूँ. I don't have to pay her, man. I just need to create her. And there are fan pages for that, dude.
Mm-hmm.
on Instagram. Like there isn't.
I know. I saw. There are like fashion shows gonna happen.
Yeah, there's tons of them. I mean,
I think
it sounds ridiculous, but it's crazy, right?
it is that kind of a technology coming up is something, and like I think eventually I realized after graduating is that either I stick around or I keep moving with this technology, because that's life. We like it or not, we have to move with it. And it is very important as a designer, especially whether it's a product designer or a graphic designer, to move with such technologies. Otherwise people would not buy your product. Otherwise people would not go for that particular thing, because that's going to be outdated. So like, I mean, even when it comes to like like I see you reading a lot of stuff, like looking at a lot of things, making sure you're connected to the world. That is something really good, because unless you're not connected, you will never move ahead. And these technologies are there, like I mean, I'm not even kidding. I have seen like during all my research and all, you don't have to make food anymore. I mean, there are like certain product ideas that all you have to do is say, if I want to Indian product ideas, okay, if I want to make like a rice curry, or if I want to make like fried rice or something, all I have to do is I just need to put some rice, and I need to put some vegetables, and then I need to like press certain buttons, and the food is going to be ready by the time I come back. And everything is like connected to your phone, so there would be apps, and you can just like you can just select that this needs to be done, this needs to be done, food will be ready.
Oh, I'm talking about you're talking about smart homes, and also homes. Dude, there's already been restaurants in New York where robots are cooking your burger.
There's some sushi bar also, something like that.
Sushi bar. That's controlled by.
There's sushi bars automatic.
I agree that there is going to be convenience when you're starting to lead such a fast life, right? But I think somewhere, even in the manufacturing, technology needs to be applied where it's going to save you time and money. Okay, don't apply the technology only because you think that it's technology, it's going to do like a lot of. I think a very famous example would be Tesla. I think Elon Musk, 90%, 80%, of course he made it, but I think there were a lot of glitches when the whole system is being controlled by robots, correct?
Right.
You just need one or two people. But I'm saying, that is also great, but thinking in terms of human this thing also, why I'm saying this is, there's always a contradiction to every statement that we make. I always say this because I was talking to Rashmi, who is again into textile, and she was telling that because of machine made technology, there's these culture and artisans that are dying. The handlooms, the khadi, जो हमारा जो famous khadi है, वो भी is dying. So I'm saying you need to use technology where it's needed. Don't shove it because there is a hype for it.
See, technology can't be forced in products.
Yeah.
I'm specifically talking about products because I'm an industrial designer, so I'm trying to like relate it to my particular field. You can't force technology in something. That is why we usually do a research about every single thing we design, is because you need to understand where it would fit perfectly and how it is benefiting the users, and as well as the people who are working for it. Every design is a very user-centered design. Every technology is a very user-centered technology. If that technology is not easily used, is not being easily used by the customers, or they're not able to use it, like if it's not user friendly, then there is no point of adding this particular technology. We need to understand that people around the world are still getting used to a technology, and we need to understand that the customer range for every kind of product varies, like the age groups. Say if I'm using a phone, even a 2-year-old would use a phone, and in today's time, even an 85-year-old would use it. So if I don't make that technology in such a way that it's user friendly, and I force something absolutely unnecessarily in it, then what's the point of having that product when it's not solving a problem? So how you mentioned about like artisans and everything, cultural dying, all those things need to be taken care of, because people these days, especially I talk about the Indian market, people try to relate every product to something which they connect with. When you're designing something, it connects you with your nostalgia, it connects you with your culture, it connects you with the social activities around, and that is how a person would relate to that particular product. When I design something, and say if I'm designing a ceiling fan and I have to decide colors for it, I would try to do a study of colors and patterns in such a way that could actually relate to the customers and their house and their housing, and probably the terrain that they're living in, so that they can connect with it, and that would gel up really well with their house and with them. So it is very important to connect all these things together, and then only you'll be able to design something very successful. Otherwise, if I just make a raw product and I bring it out to the market, people will just get confused at what is this. It is just a box of technology. How do I even use it or understand? So impacts of a particular product and understanding the evolution and social well-being and culture of it is equally important than all these things.
Very true. Very true. But I would like to pose you another question where I'll give you a very simple example. I had visited one of the recycling industries, in Korea, and they gave such a beautiful example. They said, we recycle Sony का जो TV रहता है, refrigerators, televisions, and all of that. Okay, and they said that they found a problem where, of course, the raw materials that can be recycled was sent back to Samsung and Sony. I think these are the companies, or just let's take them as an example.
Yeah.
They said the number of bolts on the televisions were too many. So that, for example, a TV liya unhone, and they were around 300 to 400 bolts. So the people who were recycling them, they were consuming a lot of time. Okay, that is one thing. And second is there was a lot of material also that was wasted. So this problem was then told to the product designers of that particular product, and they reduced it to around 180 or something. And the time again was reduced drastically. So they upgraded that product into using lesser materials, and of course keeping in mind that it can be easily recycled. I think now when I say this, I think it's very important. When you design a product, of course aesthetics matter, materials matter, manufacturing matter, and of course after manufacturing goes to the end user, and then what happens after that? Where does it go after that? How does it get recycled? Does it get into the waste landfill? Because I think this is what I have observed, at least working in automobile industry, there is a lot of waste that comes out. Okay, and car being a complex structure, it has a lot of materials. It can be plastic, rubber, sealant, glass, metal. Metal, yes, is recycled and वो pipe बनाते हैं. What about the glass? Glass is not recycled. There are no proper facilities in India where you can recycle the material or the waste, you say. And this is important, be it a small industry or a bigger brand. When you say you want to upgrade a product, for example, as you said, yes, technology is very important, but I think this aspect of really
Sustainable.
using the time and the material and trying to also understand that if it's going to be easily recyclable, then I think it's a proper, like it's a success.
Right, right.
And this was a huge wake-up call to me. Just understanding that all of this also can be recycled. I mean, they used old TV glasses and they made tiles out of it. Over there,
Wow.
of course, there is a government support system also, and people have that knowledge of not producing waste and recycling every single thing. Firstly, of course, there is a lot of area constraint. इतना बड़ा इंडिया जैसा तो नहीं है जहाँ तुम सब कहीं भी डंप कर लो, but वहाँ पे that there is a system where you have to recycle a particular thing. Actually, a lot of other things also, which is not here, which I think bigger brands, when at least from now on, need to redesign the structure of producing products and of course closing the cycle.
That's true. That's true. See, I think I would really give it to like companies and brands in India that it's been slow, but sustainability is eventually kicking in the system of the Indian market now. I would definitely give into it because I think all this while we have seen the trend of sustainability really like getting in the fashion industry and slowly in the product industry. So now obviously whatever is done, but the new product ranges that people are preferring is to keep in mind the sustainable factor and the reusability of this particular thing. See, one thing you also pointed out, which is really true, that when we design something, we think of manufacturing feasibility as well. You know, every time we design a part, every time we design a particular element, we ensure that how do we help the manufacturing aspect, which would actually benefit wasting less material, which would benefit it to something being like cost effective, and also taking care of the material which can be reused or recycled, or you know there's some way of the end life of that particular material. So now that trend is definitely like changing. I have seen it myself in the product industry as well, that the kind of material we are using and the kind of end cycle of that product is getting much better. So it's going to take time, but it is kicking in the Indian market as well, that it is really important to save our resources. You know, every material can be reused or recycled, or even if there is being a wastage, then there's like absolutely minimum wastage of that particular product. So you know, I mean, in the Indian market, initially when it comes to product designing, event like initially it was more about figuring out ways to recycle packaging, and then slowly from packaging it is now kicking in like redesign, like you know, like saving up some money in the products and recycling the material, the metal, the plastics and things like that, and how that plastic can be reused. You know, there are actually some startups around in our country also and everywhere in the world. What they're doing is that they're picking up all these trash plastic components, and they are redesigning, like you know, they're shredding out all the plastics and they're using that mixed plastic to create new products. Now those products are not probably technological products, but they're like more of like lifestyle design products, which would actually be like, you know, a showpiece or a poster or like a planter or stuff like that. So all that way is really like kicking up in our country to, you know, do all these things, and people are actually making good business out of it, which is like they're earning money whereas they're saving the world as well. So why not?
That's very true. This reminds me of a couple of companies who are doing it when we say it, and of course a hope to really use technology to solve this problem of the existing waste that we already have. I think that if people, I mean, of course, I'm sorry, of course people are अभी ये तो अभी आने की चीज हम डिजाइन कर रहे हैं, राइट? We haven't, I don't see, maybe not in large numbers, where we are not dealing with the existing crisis of waste that is happening around, because again there is population तो हो ही रहा है. India का population has never been controlled अब तक. It's just growing, and
like the population,
yes, with the population there is waste growing.
Right.
And I wish that there are more companies that come up who can find better solutions to take care of the existing waste that of course is coming out and is already dumped in the landfill.
Right. I'll just tell you something. I don't exactly remember the name of this company, but very recently I read about this startup. I'm not sure about the name and which place it is. So what they basically do is they're going to give you a business model, so they have a business model themselves, which is that they have certain machineries to recycle all the plastic waste and again making products out of that and everything. So what they do is you can like get in touch with them, like have a proposal and everything. All you need is like a place or a land to set up that particular thing. And some of them, they set that plant up in like those reusable big cartons for transportation and things like that. So what they do is they would come to your country, they would help you set up this plant, they will provide you with all the machineries and everything, and you just need to have like a franchisee there, and you can like recycle all the plastic waste in your country, and you can like make products out of it.
Is it the Good Company? Is that the name?
I'm not sure. I really don't remember the name. I'll check it out and I'll get back to you on this. But like that was like such a cool thing that they're actually helping people. Like they're providing the whole system to the people, and people will eventually understand the whole importance when they see products like these. Like a lot of thing is happening in like nowadays when I go for exhibitions, when I used to go for exhibitions 6 months back, I saw a lot of furniture being made using old textiles. Like instead of like brand new tapestry which is there, people would actually use old fabrics and remake a full furniture top instead of using like something new. So slowly people are realizing why it is important, and even the customers are getting like acquainted with the fact that this is actually something really cool. So like why not go ahead with something?
Do you think customers do see this as a value added to the product, or they don't? So when you're buying a product, would you see whether it is recyclable, or it has been recycled, or it is eco-friendly, or the company is doing something about it? Do you think that is really a priority for any of these customers, or including us, of course? Whenever you're buying anything, be it clothing or be it any other thing, do you think that people are questioning this?
I don't think right now. Not right now. Not largely. Like I don't feel we're in that, including me, I would say we're not in that state of mind, or with not that much of understanding of how this wastage or all this is going to affect in future. Right now it's a very rosy picture to us. Honestly, it's a very rosy picture to us, and I think eventually, unless something major doesn't happen, we won't really realize the importance. Like, dude, again about
happening. Don't you see the major consequences are already being faced?
But as a customer, see, they are being faced, but I talk about the reality. When we go and buy something, the whole thing of kicking in whether this is going to be reused, where is it going, that is not that's not our first priority, and that's not our first instinct right now. Our first instinct would be that, oh, this is looking beautiful, this would fit perfectly, let me just take it, uske baad dekha jayega kya hoega. That is how it is. And slowly, when the effect is going to be more major on our environment, that is when people will actually realize, which might just be too late.
Not ready. Don't you see the climate change that's happening? Don't you see the coral reefs that are bleaching? Don't you see that there are landfills that are kind of reaching the Mount Everest? Delhi hi le lo to. And perfect example for the wastelands being heaped. I'll give you an example where I was going from Ahmedabad to Baroda, and Milo dur, kilometers dur, there's a bash of smell that's come. Like, ऐसे बदबू आ गया, and I was like, what the hell? And then I saw like this mountain kind of a thing. I was like, oh, there's a mountain here, but it's not.
Those are landfill.
It's a freaking trash. It's that big landfill of the entire Ahmedabad that is being dumped there.
Right.
And वो dump say 10 kilometers at least, the people are getting sick. They're getting diseases. They're getting sick. And what if you actually did not have the chance of moving out or moving from there, and you have to just bear this?
You know, one thing I have seen specifically in Indian people, including my own family and everyone, till the time that thing doesn't till the time that thing doesn't affect you, it doesn't kick in like in your mind. For example, I talk about sanitization. Till the time the whole COVID thing didn't happen, people didn't understand the importance of sanitization. Now when it is affected so largely, people are understanding it. So when it comes to reusing or sustainability and all, there are a lot of people, and I hope that there are way more people than we're thinking of who are very sensitive about this topic. On the other hand, I also feel that the level of awareness and how seriously people are taking in these things is something which should be really increased. Now, I'll talk about Delhi. From my apartment, I have never seen clouds in the sky. Never. I'm not even kidding. When I was living in Bangalore, you remember our house, we would always see a blue sky and white clouds. Here I have always seen a very grayish sky, or a dull white sky. I have barely seen clouds. The only clouds I've seen are black clouds when it's. But since the past 3 months, the sky is mesmerizing. I mean, it's pitch blue. It's beautiful white cotton candy clouds. So now people around me especially are seeing the fact that there is a major climate change happening, and we have really seen the transition within 3-4 months. So we have to be really careful about pollution or carpooling and things like that. So slowly people will understand this thing, and some of them might understand when it affects them. Some of them will understand much before by reading, writing, studying about it, or by some people might just gain attention of this probably if they see our conversation. So it is very important for everyone to spread the little knowledge they have about sustainability.
I think spreading the knowledge, yes, but acknowledging that there is a severe problem is major. I'll ask you this, Simran, when you're designing a product, you do question all of this, right? Of where the product is going to go, what is going to happen, and all of that. Then why is there no questioning about it when you buy the product? Do you really think that we have become so materialistic in life that because again influencers and social media have been again fashion influencers on Instagram is insane. I'm how
world altogether.
There's some minimalist fashion influencers where you don't have to buy a ton of freaking clothes just to look good for a few freaking minutes or hours. I mean,
and the clothes will never be repeated once. You don't forget that. The clothes will never get repeated.
Talk about shadis in India.
don't even want to talk.
Ridiculous. you are freaking paying 60,000, 50,000, 70,000 lakhs together for this one
Lakhs.
piece that you're not ever going to wear. I mean,
But
ठीक है,
it's the
the
no.
regular clothes, okay, fine. You're going to donate it, you're going to give it to someone and all of that. But what happens during these functions? Have you ever found it ridiculous? I have found it ridiculous
I
because
have it in my own
यार
house.
पिछली शादी में तो हमने वो पहना था, अगली शादी में कैसे पहन सकते हैं हम? अरे क्यों नहीं पहन सकते यार? तुम मिक्स मैच करो यार, ये घाघरा पहन लिया, वो चूड़ी पहन लिया, नया गारमेंट हो गया. Why do you have to stress about यार शादी तो एक बार होती है यार, अपने को तो चाहिए करना ही है.
Album बन रही है, movie dude, my own house, my sister got married, we got the clothes, and then after getting married, after like 6-7 months, she moved to Canada, and now the clothes are nicely dry cleaned and they're just kept in a cupboard, beautifully packed, and they're just kept in a cupboard. I think that's what we've become, which really needs to change. We need to understand that we got to reuse our own clothes first. And again, talking about the influencers that you're saying, dude, it's really insane. I mean, I think they should have like something called like a rentalclothes.com where you can just like rent it out.
No, but there are rental, like, Indian rental bridal clothes.
Yeah, I've heard of it.
Clothes. But there is also ये notion है कि you cannot rent wedding clothes. It's just one time thing. Why would you rent a freaking wedding clothes and all that? But, dude, again, I guess the values really state. It's how serious you are about this, And I think.
But do you think, Mansi, all these things, varies from cultural and the place you're in? That varies. For example, the whole wedding concept in India or like some of the countries are very different than probably what it is in the West. So that also depends on it depends on cultural diversity also. This particular thing,
but you have the capability and the full force of your own making of your own choices, right?
But societal pressure is another thing that like say for example when you will get married, you may be like that one function, one dress is over.
But I'm serious. This is a joke. It's a ridiculous joke. Societal norms. I am just gone to my. It's always gone to my nerves.
But don't you think that we people are still acknowledging these facts and answer? But our parents or or like our elders, they are still somewhere stuck between that.
कपड़े किसको पहनने हैं? कपड़े कौन पहनने वाला है? Who is going to be dressed up in that garment? You, correct? If parents want to buy, let them buy, but at least -1 or -2. You know what? I'm just getting there. Maybe it's not going to be drastic change. Oh, we're never going to buy clothes. I'm not saying that. I'm saying acknowledge and maybe take these small steps of maybe supporting some local business or maybe supporting some brands who are doing more than just, the product. They're putting more value to the product by sourcing it from somewhere that is not. I mean, it's crazy where अमेरिका से सोर्स किया, ताइवान में बनाया और इंडिया में आके बेच रहे हो मेड इन इंडिया करके. Those that's ridiculous. Imagine the carbon footprint. Imagine that cost. कितना जाता हो
transport.
It is ridiculous.
It is. I absolutely agree to you. Absolutely agree to you. Even general product stuff. When it can be, now the whole manufacturing thing is really changed in India. Pehle, a lot of parts would come from China, and now they're shifting it back to India. So if you have the knowledge, if you have that understanding, and you have such educated people, why didn't you take that step earlier? Why did you need one COVID to let this thing happen?
Because people
You know?
are ignorant. Okay, they are
That's
ignorant
200%.
because yeah, I'm not living near the beach, so I don't think that plastic on the beach is my cause, because I did not throw the wrapper in the beach, so it's their problem. How can it be my problem? You know what I mean?
I know.
But you're also going to dump in the sea, no? You're also going to swim in the sea someday. You're going to visit to the beach someday.
Okay. Yeah.
It's going to be accounted for, right?
Right.
I'm serious, because this. I mean, I've asked this question. People are like, but yeah, I don't live near a beach.
That's not the say, right?
Actually,
How
खाते
does
हैं
it-
ना तुम. You eat fishes and all of that, na? You know that there are microplastics and all of that going inside, but all this is to the fish eaters. It's high time this generation, at least not the older, but the younger generation understand.
Other generation. Right.
It's going
No,
to
I
be
mean people
hard to get back.
need to understand, like, spread awareness and acknowledge these things as minimal as possible. Like, if they do it sooner, it will be beneficial for the upcoming generations. If they do it later, they will never understand, because see, we need to understand that we do learn a lot of things from our elders or people older to us, or how the culture is in our family. If I will not teach my kids, then they will never teach their own kids, and then the cycle goes on. So all these things really need to kick inside people of understanding these things eventually. Otherwise it'll get too late. Otherwise it's going to be like people are going to like find their ways of getting out of this whole mess.
Yeah, Mars. People are just going to move to Mars.
Move to Mars, exactly. So either you wait for this whole situation to get saturated, or you understand. Same as again COVID. Either you start wearing a mask and being in distance, or you go in a herd. कि अब तो हो ही जाए. Like my mother got COVID, like a month back. Yeah, she got COVID, and now she's recovered and everything. But despite of having antibodies herself, she needs to be careful. She didn't spread the virus to anyone because it was like asymptomatic and things like that, and everything was fine. But despite of you getting affected or you not getting affected, you need to be careful. I mean, eventually it all depends on your immunity. I see people here, literally roaming around without masks. But okay. No, but I'll tell you what. So this like a while back, I was going for some prototyping, some sampling. I went to some factory in a smaller area, and I was like really scared. I'm not even kidding. I was wearing like 2 masks, and I went with like gloves and everything. I was looking like some like doctor, I don't know what. And dude, when I was in the car going to that area, it was like, dude, COVID is only there in like Delhi, Bombay, Calcutta, Bangalore. I mean, these small places don't have COVID. There is no COVID at all. Not even one person was wearing a mask. No one. Even the person who I met in the factory, he had 2 masks beside him. And very indirectly, in a subtle way, I was like, मास्क पहनना चाहिए, अच्छा है सेफ्टी के लिए. एंड ही इज टेलिंग मी, हाँ मैडम बिल्कुल पहनना चाहिए. अरे यार, देन इफ यू से वेयर इट.